Hello, welcome to Security Update with me, Hamse Daabjeerin. In this program, we will be covering for you the latest stories that matter security in the African countries, from West to Horn of Africa. Ahead on the program. A Somali man arrested of killing British MP. Ethiopian forces hit the Tigrayan capital of Mekelle with airstrikes. Kenyan child killer eventually died in a mob. Nigeria and Cameroon jointly claim eliminating Boko Haram fighters. Welcome to our program. Initial reports reveal a 25-year-old man with Somali heritage was arrested immediately at the scene of killing MP David Ames in the United Kingdom. A Somali man was arrested on suspicion of killing David Ames, who is a British Member of Parliament, on Friday. The fatally stabbing of Conservative MP David Ames to death has been declared as a terrorist incident. Reports say the knife man who killed the MP waited calmly at his constituency's sanctuary inside a church before stabbing him to death. Two female staff watched in horror as he strolled out to the 69-year-old before pulling out his knife and launching his attack. The two horrified women ran out and tried to raise the alarm, while the suspect sat and waited for police to arrive. Detectives and MI5 are trying to establish if the suspect, who is of Somali heritage, was inspired by terrorist groups. Government officials stated that the investigation is in its very early stages and is being led by officers from the Specialist Counter-Terrorism Command. David Ames had been an MP since 1983, Basildon, and since 1997 for South End, West. Ethiopian forces hit the Tigrayan capital of Mekelle with airstrikes on Monday. Humanitarian officials and diplomats in a new phase of the nearly year-long war in the country's north.
Ethiopian forces hit the Tigrayan capital of Mekelle with airstrikes on Monday. Humanitarian officials and diplomats in a new phase of the nearly year-long war in the country's north. At least 3 people were killed and others injured. A hospital official told the media they are the first reported air raids in Mekelle since the conflict erupted in November last year, although there have been others in the Tigray region. The first air raid occurred in the morning on the outskirts of Mekelle near a cement factory, the sources said. The second took place around midday in the city center near the Planet Hotel, often used by top officials from the Tigray's People Liberation Front, the region's former ruling party, and the target of a government military operation since November 2020. The TPLF said the aerial assaults were designed to inflict civilian casualties. The reports could not be independently verified, and government officials could not be reached for comment. Medical officials in Mekelle could not immediately be reached to provide information on casualties. The strikes come as the government appeared to be pursuing a new offensive in the war against the TPLF, which dominated national politics before Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed took office in 2018. There were reports last week of fresh clashes between government and rebel forces in Afar, a region bordering Tigray, where fighting has also spread.
A Kenyan man who confessed to killing a large number of children who escaped from police cells has eventually died after a crowd of people attacked him. The suspect forged to be a football coach for the children. Police recovered 5 of them. Kenya police confirmed for the first time a man who had confessed killing around 12 children and escaped from the police cells this week has been killed by a crowd of people. They said the death took place near his home in Bungoma County a day after he had escaped from police cells in Nairobi. A family member disclosed that they were asking whether he was hiding here, and they became worried when mother and a family member checked the old house. He was squatting in the bathroom. On first sight, the mother recognized him. She started screaming while running out, with Meston following her. The neighbors also started screaming, and that was when people came in large numbers to get him. Authorities have said Wanjala had confessed to killing 12 children in Nairobi when he was arrested in July. He reportedly posed as football coach to the victims. Kenya officially said only 5 bodies have been recovered out of around 12 children. Nigeria and Cameroon said they have killed and eliminated Boko Haram fighters during a joint military operation in the Wulga area of Borno State. According to the officials, troops are conducting further exploitations of the general area to clear surviving fighters.
Nigeria and Cameroon said they have killed and eliminated Boko Haram fighters during a joint military operation in the Wulgo area of Borno State. According to the officials, troops are conducting further exploitation of the general area to clear surviving fighters. Nigerian troops of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadin Kai (OPHK) alongside Cameroonian Defense Force have confirmed killing 4 Boko Haram ISWAP fighters, though the group has neither accepted nor denied these claims. The battle occurred on Monday at the forward operating base in the Wulgo area of Borno State. Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, Director Army Public Relations, disclosed that the soldiers foiled an attempted attack on the military base. In a statement, the spokesman said they returned superior fire and were assisted by reinforcements from the battalion headquarters. Troops chased the terrorists after they retreated, neutralizing 3. 3 AK-47 rifles, 6 magazines, and 50 rounds of 7.62mm special were recovered. Also on Monday, 4 insurgents met their Waterloo around the 151 Battalion location. Government official accentuated troops are conducting further exploitation of the general area to clear surviving terrorists.
Puntland State of Somalia has halted training of federal government troops in Bari region until further notice. Some sources said the suspension was linked to a dispute between Puntland and the federal government. Puntland State of Somalia decided to suspend the training of federal government troops in Sanaag and Ain regions at the military training college in Armo Pari region. The troops were supposed to receive instruction at the training college but were ordered to stop and return home. Neither Puntland State or federal government officials publicly commented on this matter, but some sources believe that the suspension was linked to a dispute between Puntland and the federal government. It has previously refused to allow troops training in Mogadishu to join the Somali National Army. A video circulated on social media. One soldier who was denied training said they had been mistreated and removed from the training camp in the middle of the night. Those senior officials at Armo Military College declined to elaborate on the reasons behind the cancellation. The soldiers said they were part of the Somali federal government forces. They also said they were targeted in a triple manner. A military court in Galkayo has released 14 men believed to be members of the militant insurgent group Al-Shabaab. The men were suspected of being behind several bombings and assassinations in Galkayo. But we will be back after the short break. Welcome back to our program. A military court in Galkayo has released 14 men believed to be members of the militant insurgent group Al-Shabaab. The men were suspected of being behind several bombings and assassinations in the city. A military court in Somalia's central region of Mudug has acquitted 14 people who were previously suspected to have links with Al-Shabaab. The individuals were nabbed several months ago in security operations launched by Puntland forces in northern Galkaya town. In a bid to enhance the security of the town following several cases of assassinations against government officials and well-known scholars, Judge Lieutenant Colonel Abdurrahman Wasame Chama announced that all the accused had been released after the prosecutors failed to present evidence against the individuals. Puntland has been a victim to Al-Shabaab for the past years, and the group has major hideouts in the region despite the regional forces willing to remove them out of the territory. The federal government of Somalia has wholly supported the Puntland and Galmudug war on Al-Shabaab, where the group as well as the ISIS have hideouts to conduct their future military operations in the country. Somalia Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble has extended gratitude to the authorities of Puntland and Galmudug for their commitment to fighting Al-Shabaab group in both states. Roble, who attended Galkayo Beach Book Fair via Fajol, said the two regional authorities succeeded to improve the peace of Galkaya town. Last month, both states announced that they would launch operations against Al-Shabaab fighters in the Mudug region. Puntland had sent forces to the neighboring region of Galmudug to help them to push Al-Shabaab out of a strategic town, Amara, which they captured in August. The development came on after Al-Shabaab attacked a military base in Amara, which is a strategic town that lies on the route to the coastal town of Haradere, another Al-Shabaab stronghold. The group had promised to disrupt the ongoing elections in the country, which they believe are anti-Islamic principles. Thousands of pro-military protesters have rallied in central Khartoum, vowing not to leave until the government is dissolved in a threat to Sudan's transition to civilian rule. Several thousand demonstrators gathered outside the presidential palace as the country's political crisis deepened. Military and civilian groups have been sharing power since the toppling of President Omar al-Bashir in 2019. However, tensions have grown since a coup attempt attributed to followers of Mr. Bashir was foiled in September. Since then, military leaders have been demanding reforms to the Forces of Freedom and Change coalition, a civilian alliance which led the anti-Bashir protesters and forming a key part of transitional government. The armed forces have also called for a replacement of the cabinet. On Saturday, pro-military demonstrators chanted "Down with the hunger government" and called for General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, head of the armed forces and Sudanese Joint Military-Civilian Sovereign Council, to instigate a coup and seize control of the country. Unlike previous demonstrations in the country, protesters were allowed to reach the gates of the presidential palace and there were little police presence. Pro-government protesters have also called a rally on Thursday in response to the Saturday's demonstrations. The African Union mission in Somalia has awarded medals and certificates to Ugandan soldiers for their contribution to the ongoing peace and stabilization effort in Somalia.
The African Union mission in Somalia, AMISOM, has awarded medals and certificates to Ugandan soldiers for their contributions to the ongoing peace and stabilization effort in Somalia. The soldiers from the Battle Group 30 were awarded medals at a ceremony in Mogadishu, Somalia, presided over by the AMISOM Force Commander, Lieutenant General Diomede Indegiya, and attended by senior AMISOM military officers and the commander of Ugandan troops in Somalia, Brigadier General Don William Nabassa. The soldiers who deployed to the mission in September 2020 under the command of Colonel Jimmy Nabiyu Musoke are due to rotate out, having completed their one-year tour of duty. They will be replaced by Battle Group 33, commanded by Colonel Ezra Inwinyi Biaruhanga. Lieutenant General Ndegiya applauded the soldiers who were tasked with securing the Lower Shabelle and Banadu region for their courage and steadfastness in the implementation of the mission's mandate amidst difficult conditions.
The troops of Battle Group 13 have served continuously with resilience and unwavering courage. This was despite the vulnerabilities and difficult terrain, as well as the unfavorable climate conditions in the area of responsibility. For these, we as AMISOM gracefully decorate you with well-deserved AMISOM medals. UPDF has continuously contributed troops to AMISOM since 2007. That contributed enormously to the stabilization of peace and security in Somalia, particularly in Lower Shabelle. Lastly, but not least, allow me to pay special tribute to our gallant soldiers who lost their lives in their efforts to help restore peace in Somalia. Their lives have not been lost in vain, as remarkable stability has been achieved in this country.
Deployed in Forward Operating Bases (FOBs) in the Lower Shabelle and Banadu regions, Battle Group 30 helped secure key government installations, including Villa Somalia, State House, Mogadishu Seaport, Somalia's Parliament, the AMISOM main base camp, and strategic locations such as Arbiska, Albao, Lantapor, among others. Additionally, the battle group facilitated the handover of Afgoye FOB to the Somali National Army in line with the Somali Transition Plan, secured main supply routes, conducted joint targeted offensive operations with the Somali National Army and other partners to degrade Al-Shabaab, and implemented a number of quick impact projects to win the hearts and minds of the local communities. Brigadier General Nabassa praised the soldiers for serving with discipline and valor and congratulated them for the successful completion of their tour of duty. Brigadier General Nabassa later presided over a handover ceremony with Colonel Musoke, handed over instrument of power to Colonel Biaruhanga. Brigadier General Nabassa urged Colonel Biaruhanga to take on the responsibility with dynamism. On his part, Colonel Biaruhanga thanked Brigadier General Nabassa for orienting him on the mission, saying he's ready for the task ahead.
President Muhammadu Buhari has threatened bandits in the country with ultimate destruction while reacting to the latest killings in the northwest part of Nigeria.
This opportunity to say a word on the recent genuine concerns and agitations by Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari has threatened bandits in the country with ultimate destructions while reacting to the latest killings in the northwestern part of Nigeria. Mr. Buhari's reaction is coming hours after armed bandits attacked a market in Goronyo's Sokoto state, killing at least 30 people. In a statement, President Buhari said the days of the bandits are indeed numbered because the military capabilities of the Nigerian forces are being boosted by the acquisition and deployment of advanced equipment. The president added that the cowardly attacks on innocent people by the bandits showed a rearguard action of criminals under pressure. Buhari then appealed to all Nigerians not to despair because his administration is determined more than ever before to protect Nigerians from murderous criminal gangs that have no respect for the sanctity of human life.
The protection of lives and livelihoods of our people. We will also ensure that all those responsible for misconduct or wrongful acts are brought to justice.
Reports during the weekend earlier indicated that the bandits, numbering about 200, raided the Sunday market and killed over 30 people. Many people have been killed or kidnapped in various attacks this year in states like Sokoto, Zamfara, Kaduna, Katsina, all in northern Nigeria. Attacks have continued despite the previous statement by the Nigerian president, as well as massive deployment of troops to the affected areas.
And with that story of President Muhammadu Buhari threatening bandits in the country with ultimate destruction while reacting to the latest killing in the northwestern part of Nigeria will wrap up our program for this time. Thank you very much for being with us. This is me, Hamse Daabjeerin.